Hey guys, and welcome to this video. So we're almost there. In this video, we're going to talk about OSI model layer 6, which is a presentation layer, and we only have one more layer after this. So let's get started. Let's recap what we talked about in the last video. So in the last video, we talked about OSI layer 5, the session layer. Now a session is a specific occurrence of a dialogue between two applications on different hosts on different networks. And the OSI layer 5 handles session management between two applications. The session layer provides a number of functions. First is addressing, which uniquely identifies the session, and they're commonly referred to as IDs or identifiers. It helps establish sessions by negotiating session parameters and performing authentication and authorization. It helps to maintain different sessions by maintaining a list of sessions, maintaining some state for each of the sessions, restart sessions if errors occur, and ensuring that no collisions occur. It helps to terminate sessions when the communication is complete or when it gets interrupted. And lastly, it encapsulates into and decapsulates from L5 PTU. Now let's talk about OSI layer 6, which is the presentation layer. As the name suggests, the presentation layer handles how data is depicted, represented, or formatted, and this is to ensure that the receiver can understand what the sender is sending. It provides several functions. First is to provide a common format. It can provide compression and decompression, encryption and decryption, serialization, and encapsulation into and decapsulation from the L6 PDU. Now, data can be represented in many different formats, and it is important for a sender receiver to have support for common formats so they can communicate. So as part of the presentation layer, it organizes data into common data structures, and also it performs encoding and decoding. Now, at the sender side, it performs encoding, where it converts the data into another representation, a common format that both sender and the receiver supports. Now, at the receiver side, it would perform a decoding, where it converts the transmitted data from the sender back into its original representation. Data in its original form may not be very efficient for transmission, and that's why we use compression and decompression. At the sender side, we would use compression, where it reduces data by eliminating redundancies in the data. And there are two types of compression. One is called lossless compression, where no information is lost after compression. And second is the lossy compression, where some data is lost after compression, but some form of the original is still retained. Now, for decompression, it turns the compressed data back into the original data. Data being transmitted also needs to be protected, and we use encryption and decryption to protect the data. At the sender, we would use encryption, where it scrambles the data with a key so it can only be understood by authorized parties. At the receiver, we use decryption, where it descrambles the transmitted data to get back the original data. Data can also be in a complex format or structure that is unsuitable for transmission over the network, and we use serialization and deserialization to help us prepare the data for transmission. At the sender side, we use serialization, where it converts data into a format that's suitable for transmission over the network. And at the receiver side, we use deserialization, where it converts back the data that was transmitted into its original form. These are some of the references that I used to make this video, and that's it. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Let me know what kind of security issues you can think of that can happen at the presentation layer. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video where I will talk about the application layer.